And I would say there is a third value proposition that is really conquering the heart of the market. And it's rather interesting, is the one of the media, a coin that can function for rating media up and down, just like if Reddit would have actually coins assigned to people posting the best story, or Hacker News would have. And we have two major implementations right now. One is Steemit, and one is called Decent, and there was an ICO just recently, and it's about to launch. And I think this touches pretty well your topics, Max, because you were a prophet back then, more than 10 years ago, when you thought that Hollywood should have a coin, if I recall well.
Yeah, there are interesting possibilities here. Steemit is one that I thought right away was a very interesting play to reward essentially content producers. Another coin, Augur, is tied to the prediction market industry that I have long-standing roots in, and this is doing very well, as I understand it. But as you point out, these coins are trading at extremely volatile. It's so people looking at this from the financial end, you know, we would say, I would have to say, unless you're professional, you know, stay away. But the implementation and the interesting applications for these coins are really interesting reinterpretations and re-examinations of the whole idea of economics itself. I remember there was a huge debate about Steemit and the economics of how that works in terms of the coin supply, coin rewards, et cetera. In the case of Dash, the way that the economics of Dash and the participants in Dash are compensated in a way that seems to be scalable, make a lot of sense, the community is growing. Obviously, Ethereum has tapped into something quite big. The overall size of the crypto market would seem to be growing. And let me ask you this, you know, instead of states like China or other states being nervous about crypto coins and Bitcoin, at what point will they decide that they need to look at these things as a way to invest their own strategic reserves along with gold and along with other Forex investments? At what point will China or some other country figure out that in order to be competitive in the 21st century, as we become all digital and online, it makes sense for them to put a portion of their strategic reserves, maybe Norway with a huge wealth fund, to put a portion of their reserves in a crypto like Bitcoin? Do you think that's going to happen? Your thoughts?
Well, my expertise on this topic is very limited. As you know, I'm not a banker, less than ever a central banker, and I don't understand a lot of macroeconomy. What I know is that, of course, the value of crypto might be raising, very likely. I predicted this already back 4 years ago. Bitcoin would be rising the value. And maybe it's a good investment. What I think that nation states and in general societies start to really understand is what we just said about the blockchain applications, different applications that can be empowered by the very network of trust, the way of the network of unnecessary, of untrust, like a network can be trusted without trusting all the peers participating to it, which Bitcoin has created. This is a very interesting aspect of this technology, and the distributed ledger dimension is what is growing. And for sure, I know that here in Europe, we also as DynOrg, we are doing research for the European Commission, trying to understand what does this means in the scenarios of the Internet of Things, but also in scenarios of credit risk mitigations. We have produced already a project and we are starting a new one, Decode, just occupying this space of study, not financial, but trying to understand really what does the blockchain means for the Internet of Things and also for the privacy of people. And let me conclude with this. I think the blockchain can be very interesting in manifesting the contracts that we stipulate constantly with companies saying that they can use our data. It creates a situation in which these contracts can be really signed and can be on the ledger and can be also revoked in a way. So that's what we are studying in terms also of enhancing the privacy of people, trying to understand how to change this relationship of power that we have now between mega corporations that build huge silos of information of people into central databases and release these to a sort of more symmetrical situation in which people have their data and deal with it in a sovereign way.
All right, Jeremiel, got to cut it off there. Thanks so much for being on the Keiser Report.
Thank you, Max. Bye, Stacy. Thank you.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Keiser Report with me, Max Keiser, and Stacy Herbert. I'd like to thank our guest, Jeremiel of Dyn.org. If you want to reach us on Twitter, it's Keiser Report. Bye, y'all.